こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。プレミアリーグ第32節で、リーズユナイテッドは、マンチェスターユナイテッドに2対1で勝利しました。田中碧は先発出場で74分までプレーし、前の試合のウエストハム戦に続き、この試合でも素晴らしいパフォーマンスを見せ、明らかに評価がさらに急上昇しています。今回はおなじみのワンリーズから、いつものゲストである、ゲイブと共に、この試合の田中碧について話している部分を切り取っています。相変わらずゲイブは話の途中で入ってくるなと感じますが、田中碧については、ゲイブも前からまあまあ評価していた程度から、この直近の試合では、さらに評価しているのも感じるものでした。実際にどのように話しているのか、チェックしてみましょ
う。We have to move to his partner, Tanaka, who, oh, dude, just, if we'd have just had him in for longer, I firmly believe a stack, Tanaka and Purdue. From the very
I'm going to kick up an old disagreement for us.
Okay.
You know how I've often said, if you want to prove that you belong on the pitch, when you get your opportunity, you have to just seize it.
Yeah.
And good players, great players don't need ramp up time to show you their quality.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Yeah.
And look, obviously, if you have more time, you have more chances to show it. That's just logical, right?
100%. Yeah.
But what I've been saying pretty much the whole season is if Tanaka's that good, and I thought he could be, but if he's going to make himself indispensable to Daniel Farke, he has to just do it. Now, I think he was dropped unfairly earlier in the season. I thought, how many goals do we have from the central midfield position? Aside from Stock.
Well, he was back-to-back Liverpool and Chelsea goals as well.
And he was giving us something different against really, really good opposition. Whatever reason, Farke made the choice he made. I'm not here to drudge up complaints about Farke, but when you look at Tanaka coming into that match against that level of opposition, we can joke and make fun of Manchester United and talk about how crap they've been over the last couple of years. But the fact of the matter is they're a top team this season, and they played really well. And they have good players, good players.
Especially at home.
For him to put in that kind of performance, two-way performance, and that doesn't mean you're never going to lose the ball. Look, if you're the last man back as the safety valve, playing a true number 6 role, which he wasn't doing and he doesn't do, then you have to be really careful in possession sometimes. But if you're being played as an 8, a true box to box, and hopefully a creative catalyst in a team that doesn't play with a formation of a 10 and sometimes struggles to create real chances, you can't really ask for more than what Tanaka gave you. I was very confused as to the response of maybe we were getting trolled in the chat, people just saying he was bad.
Crazy.
I couldn't understand it. I didn't understand what people were talking about.
I'm convinced some people, and this might sound a bit patronizing, but it is what it is. Sometimes I think people will just complain for the sake of complaining, and it's societal now. But I always find, I always think people will try find something which is wrong with something that is good. I always think I think that's a thing nowadays. Like how you can watch as a football fan, as someone who's played the game. Anybody at whatever level, how you can watch Tanaka's last 2 performances and not say he's been outstanding against the level of opposition at midfield. Matías Fernandes as well. I keep going on about this for West Ham. He's been one of the best midfielders in the division this year. He was nowhere to be seen up against Tanaka. And it's not just Tanaka, it's Ampadu in there as well. But in terms of just...
But when he plays with certain players in our midfield, I think that it's a great combination. One thing I want to point out too is you got a lot of stick for what was... I guess people called a misplaced pass. I saw it differently. If I were the center half, I would have been shouting it. There was a play. We were in our own half, and the ball was kind of being pinged around a little bit sloppily. And he quick played to Goodmanson, who was switched off and didn't really realize the ball was being played to him. So it was about 3/4 of the way there, and the defender jumped on it first. That's the left back's fault. That's the wing back's fault for not being switched on in your own area when you're trying to play out. So. I think that he's much more technically astute than most of our players are. He's an incredibly technical player. He's not perfect. I'm not trying to say that he is.
No.
But if you want to, I think there should be no doubt, especially given some of the injuries we have in midfield. You have to play him. You have to play him. If he gets dropped next week, I'm going to lose my head.
I think everybody will. Yeah. If he drops, that would just be. That would just be staggering, wouldn't it? If he dropped him, it wouldn't make any sense. As I say, there's an argument he's been his best midfielder in the last 2 games. Just going to get through. I think Gruev naturally his attributes now, because he's pigeoned and profiled as an out and out six, someone who just sits in front of the defense. I think he's profiled as coming on and making Leeds a lot more stable and defensively resolute. I actually think at points it can be the opposite of that, because I think his direction of passing is naturally lateral and backwards, which invites pressure from the opposition. And that's not all down to Gruev, but I think that almost infiltrates into the team a little bit. I think when Tanaka, I think Tanaka's defensive work is as good, if not better, than Gruev's, which is crazy, but I do believe that. And I think all round, I thought what happens with Tanaka is there's just a variation in what he can do on the ball. And I think with Gruev, it's quite predictable. It's not unorthodox. So
I don't think the data would support your assertion that the defensive work is better, but I do think that it's different in one specific way. With Tanaka, we win the ball higher up the pitch. And what he'll do is he'll turn that into a chance creation, or what we call a hockey pass, like the pass before the pass. You know what I mean? So I agree with you in a sense that like we get something defensively that we don't get from Gruev. But I think Gruev throughout the season, his underlying like per 90 defensive metrics are probably better than Tanaka's.
Yeah, and a bigger sample size, of course.
But they play different roles. Tanaka's an all and out box to box 8.
Yeah.
次は解説です。今回はそれほど難しくはないものの、あまり日常会話でよく聞くものでもないような、中級レベルのボキャブラリーが多いかなと思いますが、本日の解説をチェックしてみましょ
う。I'm not here to drudge up complaints about Farka, but
ドゥエジはもともと、水の底に溜まった泥や砂をさらうという意味の単語です。ここから転じて、過去の出来事や忘れていた問題を掘り起こすという意味でも使われます。特にドゥエジアップという形でよく使われ、ネガティブな過去や蒸し返したくない話題に対して使われることが多いです。ニュースや議論の中でよく登場し、過去のスキャンダルや問題を再び持ち出すときに使われます。日常会話ではややフォーマル寄りですが、知っておくと理解の幅が広がります。
I'm not here to drudge up complaints about Farka, but I'm not here to drudge up complaints about Farka, but it's the response of maybe we were getting trolled in the chat.
ゲットロールはネット上でわざと挑発されたり荒らされたりすることを表す表現です。YouTube のコメント欄、SNS、配信のチャットなどで非常によく使われます。トロールが荒らす側で、ゲットロールはその被害を受ける側です。単なる批判ではなく、相手を怒らせたり反応させたりするのが目的である点が特徴です。現代のネット英語ではかなりよく出る表現なので、知っているとコメント欄のニュアンスがわかりやすくなります。
The response of maybe we were getting trolled in the chat. The response of maybe we were getting trolled in the chat.
And this might sound a bit patronizing, but it is what it is.
パトロニースは、相手に対して上から目線で話したり、子供扱いするように接したりするときによく使われる単語です。特に This sounds patronizing up のように使うと、少し偉そうに聞こえるかもしれないという意味になります。一方で、店やサービスをひいきにする、よく利用するという意味もありますが、日常会話では見下した態度という意味の方が目立ちやすいです。トーンや態度を説明するときに便利な単語です。
And this might sound a bit patronizing, but it is what it is. And this might sound a bit patronizing, but it is what it is. And it's societal now, but I always find...
ソシャイタルは、社会全体に関わることを表す、ややフォーマルな単語です。ソーシャルも似ていますが、ソーシャルが人間関係や交流にも使えるのに対して、ソシャイタルは、社会問題や社会全体への影響を語るときに使われやすいです。例えば、環境問題、教育、AI、貧困、少子化のようなテーマと相性が良い単語です。ニュースや評論、説明的な英語でよく見かけるので、上級語彙として覚えておくと便利です。
And it's societal now, but I always find and it's societal now, but I always find and making Leeds a lot more stable and defensively resolute.
レスヨリットは強い意志を持っていて簡単には揺らがない様子を表す単語です。スポーツでは守備が崩れずに粘っている時や選手やチームが強い気持ちを見せている時に使えます。ニュースでは政府や指導者の断固とした姿勢を表す時にもよく使われます。単なるスタブンよりも前向きで意志の強さや覚悟を感じさせる語です。フォーマル寄りですが、解説や記事ではかなり自然です。
And making Leeds a lot more stable and defensively resolute. And making Leeds a lot more stable and defensively resolute. But I think that almost infiltrates into the team a little bit.
インフィルテイトは何かが中に入り込む、 あるいはじわじわ広がっていくことを表す単語です。人が組織に潜入するときにも使えますし、水や空気、考え方、雰囲気のようなものが内部に染み込んでいくときにも使えます。スポーツの文脈では、ある選手のプレースタイルやチームの傾向が全体に影響していくときに比喩的に使われることがあります。少しフォーマルですが、ニュースや分析ではとてもよく合う表現です。
But I think that almost infiltrates into the team a little bit. But I think that almost infiltrates into the team a little bit.
いかがでしたか？田中碧は、ウエストハム戦に続き、2試合連続での先発出場となり、2試合連続で最高のパフォーマンスを見せ、評価が爆上がりしたとさえ感じるほどです。リーズファンの中でも、田中碧を出すべきだと強く主張していたのはほんの一部だとも感じていましたが、結果で評価を変えるようなファンは、この2試合を見て、田中碧は前から評価をしていたんだと言わんばかりに、こぞって評価しているようにさえ感じます。この動画でも言っていた通り、マンチェスターユナイテッド相手に、これだけのパフォーマンスをできること自体、十分に評価されるべきものであり、今後の試合に田中碧が起用されないことがあれば、誰もが驚くことになるものだと思います。次は最下位に沈むウルブス戦で、また田中碧の素晴らしいパフォーマンスによって勝利でき、残留をほぼ間違いなく確定させるような勝利にできることを今回は少し大きく期待して楽しみにしたいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。